Hello everyone, welcome you in the session of English series. Today we will talk about John Milton. His lifespan is 1608 to 1674. We are discussing about the question series. I have uploaded so many theoretical videos on all writers. Please do check the playlist. Now we will discuss the question first. Which of the following poem did Milton write in octosyllabic couplets? That is Il Pensiero. Is a vision of poetic melancholy by John Milton, all found in 1645 to 1646. Quarto verses, the poem of Mr. John Milton, both English and Latin, published by Humphrey Moseley. Il Pensiero means melancholy man. The phrase bottomless perdition occurs in Milton's Paradise Lost in ये कहाँ पे आती है द पैराडाइज लॉस्ट जो कि आई थी 1667 से 1674 टू वर्जन्स में आई थी इज डिवाइडेड इनटू 12 बुक्स एंड वाज रिटन बाय जॉन मिल्टन द above phrase appears in book 1 line 47. It appears that in Paradise Lost book 1 Milton belongs to the devil's party without knowing it. Who among the following made this statement? किसने कही थी ये कही थी विलियम ब्लेक ने हु ऑब्जर्व दैट मिल्टन बिलोंग्स टू द डेविल्स पार्टी विदाउट नोइंग इट द रिमार्क्स एम्पायर्स दैट मिल्टन अनकॉन्शियसली ग्लोरीफाइड सैटन स्पेशली इन बुक 1 ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट जो डेविल्स की बात है देखो आप दिमाग में ब्लैक रख लेना ब्लैक जिससे आपको याद होगा विलियम ब्लेक हु इज़ इल वट इज़ इल एलेग्रो कंपेनियन पीस ऑफ हार्ट Al Allegro is a pastoral poem by John Milton, published in his 1631 poems. El Allegro, which means the happy man in Italian, is invariably paired with the contrasting pastoral poem Il Pensiero, the melancholy man, which depicts a similar day spent in contemplation and thought. Next is the matching Il Allegro and Il Pensiero. Lycidas comments on his blindness, Aeropazetica. These are the first following poems correctly match Il Allegro and Il Pensiero. These are the companion poems in octosyllabic couplets. Occurs in 1645. Lycidas occurred in 1638. Pastoral elegies. Next is एलेजी हमारी होती है जो दुख के लिए लिखी जाती है कॉमस 1637 मास्क है ऑन हिज ब्लाइंडनेस सोनेट है 1673 में आई थी एरोपेजेटिका 1644 प्रोस्ट्रैक्ट एग्जाम पॉइंट की बात करें दाई सोल वॉज लाइक अ स्टार एंड ड्वेल्ट अपार्ट दाउ हार्डेस्ट वॉइस हुज साउंड वॉज लाइक अ सी हु सेड दिस वर्ड्सवर्थ इन सोनेट ऑन मिल्टन येट दाई हार्ट द लोएस्ट ड्यूटीज ऑन herself did lay. These lines are about Milton, who said the words when his sonnet on Milton. Shakespeare is the poet of impulse, of the loves, hate, fears, jealous and ambitious that swayed the man of his age. Milton is the poet of steadfast will and purpose, who moves like a god amid the fears, the hope, the changing impulses of the world, regarding them as the trivial and melancholy things that can never sever a great sound from its course. Whose comment is this? That is Long, William J. Long. He, a poet, ought to himself a true poet, that is the composition and patron to of the best and most honorable things. Who said? These are said by Milton. Before one can write literature, which is the expression of the ideal, he must first develop in himself the ideal man, the lofty ideal of Fra Anglico. Who said? These are said by Milton's, because Milton's human he most know the best in humanity. Who comments it? That is commented by William J. Long. The Spirit of Lord is upon me. Whose line is this? That is spoken by Milton. His style was unconsciously sublime because he lived and thought consciously in a sublime atmosphere. Who commented this? That he belong about Milton. The ode on the morning of Christ's nativity was begun on Christmas Day 1629. Who was Milton's master? That is Spenser. In Paradise Lost, Milton evokes his heavenly muse Urania at the beginning of the chord. किस book में? That Milton evokes Urania in book 1 and book 7. Book 1 and book 7. Which of the following works of Milton is an elegy? That is Lycidas, Camus, Il Allegro, Paradise Lost. Lycidas is a poem by John Milton written in 1637 as a pastoral elegy. It was first appeared in 1638. Exam points. Milton was also influenced by Fletcher's Christ, Victory and Triumph. As ever in my great taskmaster eyes, this line is of Milton, who composed of his being arrived at the age of 23. In his doctrine and discipline of divorce and tetrarchan, Milton repudiates marriage. For I thought it base to be travelling at my ease for intellectual culture, which may follow. Countrymen at home were fighting for liberty, who gave up travelling with this plea. That is Milton. In the sonnet, Methought I saw my late espoused saint. Milton celebrates his second wife, who commented on Milton saying that this man cursed us all out and the Asian too. That is Dryden. The meaning of Il Allegro is the joyous or a happy man. Which poem of Milton are joyous amongst Elizabethan in character? That is Horton poems. From where did England borrow the idea of the mass? That is Italy. Aeropathetica highlights freedom of the press. Paradise Lost in his blank verse. Who has described Paradise Lost as the dream of a Puritan fallen asleep over his Bible? That is Lamartine. In Milton's life, the period from 1632 to 1637 is popularly known as Horton period. 5 years is the period of Horton period. Milton has given his views on poetry in his poem Lycidas. The abilities of poet are inspired gift of God, rarely bestowed. Who said that is said by Milton. He, how sweet is divine philosophy, not harsh and crabbed as dull fools spouse, but sweet as its Apollo lute. Where do these lines appear in Milton's Comus? When Milton wrote on the morning of Christ's nativity, his age was only 21. Il Allegro and Il Penseroso arcades Comus listed belongs to the Horton period. Restoration came in 1660. Great plague occurred in 1665. Which poem deals with Satan's temptations of Christ in wilderness? That is Paradise Regained. Who described Milton as the mighty mouthed inventor or harmonious and God-gifted organ voice of England? That is Tennyson. Bunhill Fields is associated with Milton.